You're watching a message from Connect Church of Jacksonville. Find us online at connectchurchjacks.org.
So we have a special treat this morning. Pastor Charles Young is going to speak for us this morning, and he's going to continue with us. So you guys show him some love. We love Pastor Charles.
Hey, what's up, Connect Church? Y'all doing good this morning? Hey, look, I like a little rowdiness. So look, a little shout back, a little high five, a little what up, what up, what up. You know, I need a little talk back. And so Pastor Kelly has told me that this church likes a little, you know, they get into it a little bit. And so, you know, I have been very, very lucky and blessed to be able to know Pastor Kelly and Marsha for a very long time. And I just want to say this, that from the time that I've known them until now, very, very first time I met them, they've always had a heart for serving and reaching and just loving the people that really need it the most. And one of the things, you know, we were in Honduras together just this last trip and really getting to hear the heart of Pastor Kelly. This community, man, he loves y'all, man. I mean, he prays for y'all daily. It's not something like you get up here and you talk one thing and you kind of switch it off until the following Sunday. But it's something that they live. I mean, they really, truly believe in this church, in this community, and really want to see it one for the kingdom. And so y'all have an amazing pastor. So why don't we show them some love, give them a little honor where honor is due. And I mean, Pastor Marsha and Victoria, I mean, they sing. Why don't we give it up for the band real quick? Because I'm just chilling on the front row, hanging out, man, and I felt like the glory of God coming down. The lights started shining and flickering. I thought, I didn't know what was going on, you know, but I looked up and it was just them singing. So, hey, I have my guest here and my wife, my beautiful wife, Mariah. Baby, why don't you stand up? I know, I love calling her out. She hates it, but I love it. And so we're expecting a little baby girl, so this could be any moment. So if I have to drop the mic and roll, you know what I'm saying? Got to go. I'm just kidding. But I love my wife very much, and you know, we just really have a heart for people. It's not just the lost. It's the happy. It's the broken. It's the glad. It's whatever. We truly have a heart for people, and to come alongside such a great church, and I feel honored. Pastor Kelly had texted me and said, "Hey man, we'd love to come and get you to come and speak." And oh, by the way, it is our 2-year anniversary. Oh, and by the way, you are the first outside guest that's ever come and spoke. And by the way, I'm like, dang, dog. How many by the ways we got? Feeling a little nervous up here. But hey, I want to say this. If you did not get a chance to go on that Honduras trip, it is an amazing experience. And what you bring back from a missions trip is something great. It not only is able to kind of take a load off and a burden off of the missionaries there in Honduras, but it does something to yourself, you know, your heart, your thoughts, your soul. I mean, it fires you up, man. You're just ready to come back and just slap some people around, man. Jesus loves you, man. I don't even know. But we're in this series. Right now called Two Paths. And I just wanted to read. I wanted to read the scripture that y'all have been going on before we get started, and it's Deuteronomy 30:19 through 20. And so, if you have your Bible, just want to read that to you real quick. It says that this day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. It says, now choose life, so that you and your children may live, and that you may love the Lord your God, listen to His voice, and hold fast to Him. For the Lord is your life, and He will give you many years in the land He swore to give to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Why don't we pray real quick before we get started? Father, we just thank you so much for this morning. God, I thank you so much for every single person that is in here. I thank you for their heart. I thank you that they took the time the spring forward morning, God, when they could have just lied and stayed in bed. Father, they got up because they knew that to give you the first of their day means everything. And so, Father, I pray that you would just begin to open up the hearts and the minds of every single person in this room. Lord, that you would just begin to use me as a conduit for your very message and the word that you have for us today. Father, that it's not about me. It's not about highlighting me or glorifying me, Father, or even making me look something. But God, it is about lifting your name high. It's about painting a picture of how beautiful you are. And God, we thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, well, why don't you turn to your neighbor real quick and say, welcome to church this morning. Come on, turn to your other neighbor that you neglected and say, you looking fine today. Don't nobody be telling my wife she looking fine. I kick you. Hey, well, some years back, I was a missionary in Africa, and I lived there for like about 3.5 years, and I loved it. I mean, I've never been to a place that just captured my heart so much. But I remember I landed in Africa, and when I landed in Africa, I get off the plane and I walk up to the customs place and I slide my passport in there, and they stamp it and they bring me on the other side to make sure that I'm there. And they said, Mr. Young, we've been waiting for you. It's like, well, thank you. I appreciate it. You're under arrest. Oh, wasn't expecting that one. So I thought, oh man, they're just messing with me. You know, I thought the people that I was there with, they kind of was trying to pull a little fast, a little prank on me. And they said, no, for real, you are under arrest. And literally, I step off the plane into Africa and I get arrested. Like, dang, I thought I left that lifestyle back. But I roll through there, and I finally get through all the mess. And the deal was I was carrying guns. I knew I was carrying guns. I wanted to shoot some animals in Africa, but it was illegal. I didn't know it was illegal, and so I've got firearm charges on me now. So hallelujah. But I'm rolling through Africa, and one of the things that I was in charge of there is I was over these care points in Africa. And what a care point is it's basically like a daycare center where these kids come in from 7 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock in the evening. And what they do is they get food, education, they learn the Bible, they get medical care, and it's a place where they can come and be kids for the day. It's a place of rescue. It's a place where they can say, hey, I want to leave abject poverty. I want to leave that lifestyle. Man, I just need to check out of that for a moment and come to a place where I can play. I can play soccer. I can play on a playground, and I can be a kid for a day. And so this one in particular care point, we were in the process of building it. And while we were building this care point, I mean, I'm no Pastor Kelly Metters. I'm not a builder. I'm not a plumber. I can't really barely tie my shoes. My wife does that for me. And so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm there to serve. And I get there, and we're building this care point, and it comes to the plumbing, and we start to install these toilets, and we're putting the toilets in. I've never installed a toilet in my life, and so I was like, well, there's no instructions on a box, so I've got to figure it out. So I take this little donut ring, you know, a little squishy thing, and I thought, well, this looks pretty cool. Where does it go? And I start to kind of put two and two together, and I smush it down on the floor, and then I put the toilet on top of it. And there I am. I'm with wrenches in my hand. I don't even know what they're called. You know, I'm like got a hammer. I don't know what this is. It looks like a chisel. I'm not sure. And I'm tightening all these tubes up and all these things. You know, I don't know what they're called, but I'm there tightening. And Sheba was the guy, one of the guys in the village, and he was there to help me. And he says, Mr. Charles, no, that's not how you use this thing. I'm like, oh, my bad. And so I'm there, and I'm putting these toilets in, and I'm installing these toilets. And so we get done, and I leave for the day. And I drive off, and I go down, and we kind of had to go all throughout the country. And so I had to go from care point to care point. And a couple of weeks later, I come back to that one particular care point. And I drive in through the gate, and everybody's running up to me, Mr. Charles, come quick. And I thought, man, they missed me. Like I felt good. And I get out of the car, and I'm walking, and they're saying, come quick. There's something wrong with the bathroom. And I thought, probably so, because I installed it. And so I walk to the bathroom, and as I'm walking to the bathroom, I walk in and I begin to smell this lovely aroma that's coming from the room. I thought, oh Lord Jesus. I walk in and I walk into the bathroom, and there it is, just looking me in the face, and I thought, oh my God, how in the world did this happen? I mean, there is filth everywhere. It is on the floors. It's on the walls. It's on the ceiling. I'm like, dear God, how did it get up there? I'm looking around and I said, this is disgusting. And I start telling everybody, Sheba, how do you let something like this happen? This is filthy. And I soon realized that as we're installing these toilets and putting this stuff in, that they don't know how to use a toilet. It never dawned on me that they've never seen a toilet, they don't know how to use a toilet, and they look at this thing and they see clean water that they have to go miles and miles for, and it's sitting right there in the toilet. And so they use the bathroom on the side of the toilet and they wash their hands in the toilet. We never taught them how to use a toilet. Something so simple to you and I, but if you don't grow up with it and you're out in the bush all the time, you don't know how to use it. And so I remember I left that place and I told Sheba, I said, Sheba, this is disgusting. Like, you clean it up, you deal with your mess, I'll come back and fix it. And I remember I got in my car and I started driving off. As soon as I got in my car, I'm driving down the road and I turn some worship music on, and I'm just kind of trying to deal with my thoughts, and I begin to think to myself, God, man, I thank you so much for calling me to such a beautiful place. I'm worshiping God. Oh, Jesus, you're awesome. You're beautiful. Hey, thank you for letting us reach these children, and thank you for the opportunity. Man, I'm headed to the next care point. And there it was in my head. It says, Charles, turn this car around and go clean up the mess. I said, devil, you better get on out of here. I don't know where that voice is coming from, but that ain't God. I know my God. I drive down the road a little bit more. I turn the radio up or roll the windows down. Man, my hair is just blowing in the wind. I'm praising God, and there it is again. It says, Charles, turn this car around and go and pick up that mess. I said, nope, I'm not doing it. I am not going to turn this car around. I'm not going to go clean something up that's not my fault. I didn't mess on the floor. I didn't put it on the walls. Literally, it was on the ceiling. Like, God, how do you expect me to scrub the ceiling? Like, that's not my mess. So I kept on driving. And there it was again. And this time it was, Charles, I didn't call you thousands of miles across the world to be served. I called you thousands of miles across the world to serve. Now turn the car around and clean up the mess. So I turn the car around, I pull in back in the gate, and there it is. And it is not like we have in the States. I didn't have rubber gloves and Clorox disinfectant. I didn't have any of that. I had a bucket, I had some water, and I had some mops. And there I am. I'm like, God, man, I don't really know. Man, this is disgusting. But Jesus, man, I remember as clear as day. I'll never forget it. And God began to speak to my heart, and He says, Charles, if you can remember this moment, if you can remember being on your hands and your knees, if you can remember to embrace the filth, because when you embrace the filth, you embrace Christ. And I'll never forget it. But I think a lot of times in life, we go through life, and as we're going through life, man, God is calling us to do these things, and He's calling us to reach our community, and He's calling us to reach our home, and He's calling us to reach our husbands and our wives. He's calling us to reach our sons and our daughters. He's calling us to do all of these different things. And when we begin to step out in that, we say, Jesus, I don't know if it's my time yet. Jesus, I don't know if that's really what I'm supposed to be doing at this moment. I'm not really sure, God, that is what it is that you're truly calling me to do. Devil, you need to quit messing with my emotions. You need to quit speaking in my mind. Because just like me, I said, hey, I'm going to save that for somebody else. And we push it off, and we push it off, and we push it off. But yet all along and all the whole time, people are in need of a Savior. They're in need of Jesus. They're in need of Christ. They're in need to know what it is to truly be loved by Him. They're in need to know, hey, that this person is a Christian. He's a believer. He's a churchgoer and somebody that I can rely on and not be pushed away and shunned. You know, a couple of years ago, I was here in the States and I was doing an outreach. And as I'm doing an outreach, we're on one side of the street. You know, we're out there and we're handing out water. We're handing out all these different things. And as we're handing out water, I'm on one side of the road and I had a group of people on the other side. And so it's a couple of people, you know, some ladies and some men. They're on the other side of the street and they're handing out water and they're handing out all this stuff. And there I am on my side of the road and I'm handing out water. And I look behind a building, behind a dumpster. And I see this man that's just laid out. And it's this homeless guy, and as he's laid out there, I thought, well, man, he looks like he's asleep. I'm just going to go and kind of drop some water by him and put this food here and lay some blankets out so that when he wakes up, he'll have something to use. So I walk up to him, and as I'm walking up to him, I look by his bags, and I see a Bible laying right there, and I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. So I go there and I lay the stuff down and I startle him and he wakes up and he says, oh man, can I help you? I said, man, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I just wanted to lay this water here and I just wanted to kind of give you a few things, but look, I'll let you go back to sleep. You know, I'm so sorry. And so he starts to strike up this conversation with me. And as he's striking up this conversation with me, he begins to talk to me and he begins to share the gospel. And I get excited because he's telling me about the Word of God and I see the Word of God. And man, I'm like, man, this is a great moment. This man knows Jesus. It kind of saves me a little bit from having to kind of work him through the gospel and stuff like that. It's something that he already knows. And he's talking about the gospel. And we get to this moment and I'm thinking in my head like, man, he knows the Word of God. Surely he goes to church somewhere. Where does he go to church? And so I say, excuse me, sir, like, you know the words so well. Like, where do you go to church? And this man looked at me. In one moment, he was so excited, and he was so excited about sharing the gospel and talking about the Bible. And he looks at me, and his whole demeanor changes, and he says, church. He says, man, you see this book? You see this book right here, this book? This book is the best thing that I've ever read. He says, this book, man, it has saved my life. This book right here, man, it gives me promises that I can wake up every single day and it gives me a new truth and a new promise. This book right here is amazing. But church? Nah, man, I hate church. I hate it. And I remember when he said that, it broke my heart. Because when this man says that I love the Word of God, but I hate church, how does that even happen? Because the Word of God tells me that the church is the house of God, that it's His temple, that it's a place of prayer, that it's a place where people who are broken can come and be accepted and forgiven and welcome. How does this man say he hates church? And I'm thinking in my head, what happened to this guy? Was he walking down the street one day, and as he's walking down the street, he's broken, he's homeless, he's filthy. He probably hasn't showered in a week or two. And he's walking down the street, and there's a group of people on the corner there, and they're just kind of doing their thing, and this man walks by him, and it's the church, and they're Christians, and they're holier than thou, and they're Bible believers, and this man walks by him, and they begin to blast this man because he's homeless. Man, he's worthless. He doesn't want to apply himself in life. He doesn't want to do anything. What happened to this man? Did this man walk into a church one day and say, man, I'm broken and I'm hurt? Man, 2006, 2007, 2008, man, that was a hard year. I used to be somebody. I had a family. I had a great paying job. I was a financial investor. I had all of these things working for me. And bam, here comes the economy, and it totally strips me from everything. And now I have nothing. Man, I can go to the church. sure, I can go to the church and I can ask for some help. And man, I know that I smell and I know that. But I know that my Bible says that this is a place, this is the house of God, and I can walk into this place. And he walks in and he strolls up and he begins to take a seat on the front row, not really knowing the rules about the front row. Is this for the pastor? Is this for whoever? I thought the church has chairs there. Surely I can sit down. And he sits down on the front row and somebody says, excuse me, sir. Yeah, man. Oof. Yeah, kind of that smell you got going on, and man, it's kind of distracting. And our congregants, they're kind of saying, who is that guy, man? They're whispering, and it's hard for them to engage in worship. It's hard for them to really, really kind of connect with God. Sir, can we ask you, look, how about this? How about we go and get you some food? And, can we ask you to just kind of leave? What happened to this guy? I love the Word of God, but I hate church. See, I believe the Bible paints a beautiful picture of what it means to embrace the filth, what it means to cross two paths, what it means to say, hey, I know that I'm on this side, but man, if I focus my attention on Christ, if I just follow Him, if I commit my life to Him, if I just say, Jesus, I know what it means to cross on the other side of the path. I know that. And in Matthew chapter 8, it paints a beautiful picture of it. In Matthew chapter 8, I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to paraphrase this for you. But in Matthew chapter 8, there he is, Jesus. Jesus and all the disciples, man, they're all coming together. And as they're coming together, they begin to say, hey, we're going from town to town. And Jesus, man, he's there and he's sharing the gospel and he's healing the sick and he's raising the dead and he's doing all of these things. And there it is, man. Jesus is coming down from this mountainside. And in Matthew chapter 8, it says in your Bible that there's large crowds that begin to follow him. And I don't know about you, but when I read the Bible, I love to picture what that looks like. I love to read the words of Jesus and say, hey, what is this like, man? If I could really just put myself in this moment, what would that look like? And it says that Jesus is walking down the mountainside and large crowds are following. I like to think, man, what would that be like if I was just walking down the street, walking through a field, man, and I have a large crowd following me? What is that, 100, 200? Is that 1,000? Is it 10,000? I don't know. But I'm walking down the street, man. I got my homies by me. I got my partners, man. We just strolling through like, what up, homie? Yeah, cuz, we just chilling out here, baby. We doing our thing. And then all of a sudden I turn around like, oh, Lord, man, they got a crew back there. Did y'all notice them? Yeah, dog, we noticed them, but we didn't want to mess with you. And so we're rolling through, man, and it says in Matthew chapter 8, as they're walking down the mountainsides, large crowds are following them. And there was this one man. There's this one man. There was this leper. This guy who's filthy, man. He's disgusting. You talk about homeless, man. This guy was the definition of homeless. Lepers back then, they were the lowest of low. You couldn't even go through a town without screaming, I'm unclean. Hey, look, excuse me, pardon me. Whoop, I can't touch you. I'm unclean. I'm a leper. My ears are falling off. I got my nose. It's halfway across my face, man. I got all of these things that are going on. Hey, I'm a leper. I'm unclean. They were banished from society. In their own colony, live in their own world. And here's this leper. He's coming through the crowd, and there's a crowd of people. And this one man says, oh, excuse me. If I can just get to Jesus, man, I've heard about that man. I've heard about this guy over here, Jesus. Hey, Jesus. Hold up. Hey, and he's making his way through these people. He's making his way. Unclean. Hey, I'm unclean. Shut up. I'm unclean. I got to get to Jesus. And he makes his way there. And the Bible says that he finally gets to Jesus. And when he gets to Jesus, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't worship him. He doesn't praise him. Oh, Jesus, you are holy. You are magnificent. You are beautiful. I've heard, man, if I just commit my life to you, that you would help a brother out. He doesn't say any of that. The words that come out of this leper's mouth, this homeless man's mouth, this disgusting man's mouth, the man that nobody had to do anything with, he says, excuse me, sir, can you make me clean? Not forgive me for my sins. Not can you pray for me. Jesus doesn't know this man. He says, hey bro, can you help me out? Can you make me clean, please? And I love the picture that Matthew chapter 8 paints in this scripture. It says that when the man asked Jesus, can you make me clean? It says Jesus reaches out his hand and he touches him before anything else. Jesus reaches out his hand and he touches the most disgusting man around. Touches him. Now the Bible doesn't say this, but I believe that when Jesus touches this man, I believe he was doing something to his heart and to his thoughts before anything else. I believe that when Jesus touches this man, he says, hey son, by the way, you are my son. I haven't forgotten about you. You're not a nobody. There is a plan for your life. There's a plan for you to prosper. There's hope. There's joy, man. There's all that time that you felt abandoned and you felt alone and you felt outcast and you felt, hey, nobody has anything to do with me. And all that time where you were lonely, that Jesus is speaking to this man's heart and he's saying, hey, I will never leave you nor forsake you, that I will be there with you in the darkest times, in the hardest times. I love you, that you are my son and I've created you in the very image of myself. I love you. Oh, by the way, be clean. Jesus touches the man before he heals the man. Because when you embrace the filth, man, you embrace Christ. It goes hand in hand. It's the Bible. It's who we are in the Bible. When you say, Jesus, I love you, Jesus, I want to serve you, Jesus, I want to do all these things. But God, man, I can't really serve at the church. I can't really do outreaches. I can't really go on missions trips. It's not my time. It's not what I'm called to do. What is it that you're afraid of? God is calling you to do great things for the kingdom. What is it that you're scared of? What is it that is holding you back? Why is it that you're saying, hey, maybe next year I'll go on a missions trip? Maybe in 2 months I'll invite somebody to church. Maybe next week I'll come a little early and help set up and tear down. And maybe I'll get involved in kids later. Or maybe I'll give later. Or maybe I'll serve my husband and my wife later. And yeah, we're having some hard times financially. Yeah, we're having some hard times in our marriage. Yeah, I can't stand my job. Why don't you begin to serve the people around you and see and watch God begin to explode your life in a way that is just amazing. I don't know why I deal with the same problems. We all have the same issues. I'm not pointing you out, I'm pointing us out. Because just like in the very beginning of my message, I said, nah, God, I ain't about to get in that mess. That ain't my fault. I didn't create it. I didn't do it. Let them clean it up, and I'll fix it. It might not be our mess. It ain't Jesus' mess. But good thing he gets on his hands and knees every single day, every single morning, and he washes this and he creates this and he says, hey, I will give you a new day. I'm going to breathe a new life. I'm going to start a new beginning. I'm going to give you a fresh anointing. I'm going to pour into you each and every moment of the day because you are my son and daughter and you're not a New Year's resolution and I'm not giving up on you and I love you every day. So what is it that you're afraid of?
You're watching a message from Connect Church of Jacksonville. Find us online at connectchurchjacks.org.